So this is part 2 of a video on how to develop your intuition. And why do we want to develop our intuition? Well, it helps you solve problems. So many times we look outside of ourselves for the answers. We consult different people, maybe numerology, which I do like, or whatever. We look for an outside source. But we have the answers inside in our inner self, and it's our inner knowing, our intuition. And that's when I said in the first video, it's when we get that feeling. Now, it's a gut feeling, but it may not be in your stomach area. So I talk more about that in the first one. This video is going to go over 4 different ways for you to start developing your intuition and help you solve problems. The first is, I had talked about, again, in the first video, to get a journal and some nice pens and markers to keep as a record of what your inspiration is, what your intuition is. So I want you to get your book, sit down, and write down some events where you knew your intuition. And put it in as much detail as possible. Where were you? How are you feeling? What was the symbolism? Was it numbers? Was it a feather? Was it a coin? Was it an article you saw? What was the symbolism? And did you follow your intuition? Now, no judgment if you didn't. But again, and if you did follow it, how did that feel? And if you didn't follow it, how did that feel? So whenever you get one of these hunches, write it down, because you may see some patterns, and you may see some times where you didn't trust it, and then this will help you learn to trust your own intuition. So keep a record in that beautiful journal that you have. The second, and these are kind of to play everyday games. So you learn again to trust yourself. If your phone rings, pause a few seconds before you answer it and see if you can figure out who's on the phone. If you've been involved in a project and some time has gone by, before you look up at the clock, try to figure out what time it is. Another one I love is get some cards, shuffle some cards, pick one, leave it face down, and see if you can guess what the card is or just what suite it is. Another one, I love doing this. I'll go to the grocery store and I have everything in the cart, and I try and figure out what the total is going to be before the cashier tells me what it's going to be. So these are some simple things. One other one is, before you get dressed in the morning, spend a few minutes thinking what you should wear intuitively. Maybe you'll go for some different choices, some different colors to raise your vibration. So try these little, I call them like everyday games, and you'll be shocked. The more you do them, the more synchronicity you're going to see of how you can figure it out, because you're learning to trust yourself. The third is, this is a problem-solving technique. I'd like you to sit down and get quiet and take some breaths to kind of calm and center yourself. And then think about a problem that you have that you want to solve. And I want you to use images of this problem, and again, no judgment, in your mind's eye, your third eye, right in your forehead there. Think of the problem and look at it kind of from different angles. And say to yourself, how can I see this differently? How can I solve this? And then just spend some time looking at it from different angles. And how does it look? How do you feel? Are there any sounds? Do you have any feelings in any part of your body about this situation? And just sit with it 3 to 5 minutes. And then at the end, tell yourself, I know that this is going to be solved. It's going to be resolved, and so it is. And then jot down any feelings you have, any thoughts. Now, you may get the answer right away, and you may not. You may have to repeat this, or the answer may come later on in the day or the next day. But this is a great problem-solving technique in your mind's eye, and know that you can see it differently and that it will be resolved. Have that positive outlook on it at the end. The fourth, and I love this one, is objects. Using objects to improve your intuition. So there may be a situation, again, a problem you want to solve. So before you start this, again, sit down, take some nice deep breaths, calm yourself, ground yourself, and think of the situation that you need a resolution to, that you want to solve, that you're not sure what to do. And spend a few minutes just thinking about it, not negatively, and no judgment again. And then walk around your home and pick out 3 objects. Don't spend too much time thinking why. Pick them out from your heart instead of your mind. Whatever you're drawn to, pick them, put them on a table. Get your journal out and write down what is the symbolism of the first object. Write it down. What is it? What's its history? What's the symbolism? Is there some reason you picked it? And then do that with the second object and the third. And you might see a solution coming together. I knew somebody that didn't know whether they wanted to leave a relationship or not, so they went around, and the first thing she picked was a vase. A second was pictures of her family. And when she thought about it, the vase, she thought it was a beautiful vase given to her by her sister, but she hadn't put flowers in it for a really long time. So she realized there was not joy in her life. And then the photo of her family, she decided that that meant that she had the love and support of her family no matter what she decided to do about the relationship. So objects are really powerful. So the fourth, remember to keep the record when you have the intuition in your journal, how you felt, the symbolism, did you follow it? Those everyday games we talked about, the problem-solving technique to see it differently, seeing the problem in your mind's eye. And the fourth is to gather 3 objects and see their symbolism. Now, I'd love to hear from you what worked, what didn't work. I'm actually putting these all into practice myself. So I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. I am a life coach. I have information on that below, and I'm sending you lots of love and light. Till next time.